真的忍不住想要吐槽一下。
I really can't help but complain. Women's underwear has gotten ridiculously expensive. The prices are just outrageous. A couple of days ago, I went to a store to check, and the starting price was at least 300 or 500 yuan, just for those little pieces of fabric. Some guys might not realize how expensive this is, so let me put it in perspective. It's even pricier than real estate if you break it down. This is just crazy. It's like the money is too easy for them to make. In recent years, the prices of women's underwear has been climbing, especially for well-known brands, where a single bra can cost several hundred yuan. This has made it a heavy burden for many consumers. At the same time, the market is flooded with low-quality, cheaper options, leaving women stuck in a dilemma. Expensive ones are unaffordable, but the cheap ones don't last. A female reviewer recently posted a video complaining about the rising prices of women's underwear. Am I the only one who can't afford underwear this year? I bought 5 or 6 bras recently, just regular ones with no fancy technology or premium brand, yet each one still costs between 159 yuan and 199 yuan. She believes that underwear should be high quality since it's worn close to the skin. Even if she wears cheap t-shirts that cost 20 or 30 yuan, she insists on getting good underwear. Plus, bras have a limited lifespan. According to online recommendations, each one should be replaced every 3 months, meaning about 20 new ones per year, costing at least 2,000 to 3,000 annually. Cheaper bras sold online are made mostly of polyester, which pills easily and loses shape over time. Meanwhile, latex bras, which have been trending in the past 2 years, tend to grow mold even with daily washing, raising concerns about their durability and health. Anything that women really need is always more expensive. The moment something is labeled for women, prices go up. Yoga mats for women cost more than the ones for men. Sanitary pads used to cost 4 or 5 yuan, but are now 20 or even 30 yuan. And now even basic underwear has become a luxury. Is no one going to do something about this? China's economic downturn has also impacted the high-end lingerie market. Wako Holdings, a Japanese company specializing in women's underwear, has reported serious financial struggles in China. Its subsidiary, Wako China, expects revenue for April to December 2025 to be 6.7 billion yen, a 12% decline compared to the previous year. The company is also forecasting an operating loss of 447 million yen, worsening from last year's loss of 269 million yen. In response, Wako has shut down about 20 stores in China, which accounts for nearly 10% of its total store count in the country, leaving around 300 stores still in operation. The company plans to continue closing unprofitable locations while expanding its sportswear business in markets like the United States, where growth potential is higher. Wako's vice president, Akira Miyagi, explained that China's weak performance is due to the sluggish economy and worsening China trade tensions, making it difficult for their business to recover. Chinese consumers are also shifting away from high-end products, where Wako has a competitive edge, toward more affordable, mid-range, and low-cost options. Similarly, Victoria's Secret, the largest women's apparel retailer in the United States, closed its biggest store in Beijing in 2023, located in the Wangfu Central Shopping Mall. Back in 2020, when the pandemic hit China, the brand had already announced its complete withdrawal from the Hong Kong market. It's not just international brands struggling. China's domestic women's fashion industry is also in a slump, with the market downturn becoming more obvious. On March 1st, a lingerie blogger recorded a video of a women's underwear store going out of business, where customers flooded in to grab clearance deals. A store owner also confirmed that many lingerie shops simply can't survive anymore. This year, many people in the lingerie business might have to shut down their stores. After the new year, a lot of my followers told me they just couldn't keep going anymore. They're exhausted, losing sleep, and even losing hair from stress. Some days they sit in their stores for hours without making a single sale. Other times they barely sell anything. Maybe just a few dozen or couple hundred yuan worth of goods. It's enough to make them depressed. A lingerie shop owner who had been in business for 10 years shared her frustration in a video. I never imagined I'd end up like this. I've been running the store for 10 years. I never expected to get rich selling lingerie, but I thought at least I could make a stable living. I never thought I'd be losing money every single day. It's gotten to the point where I feel physical pain. My whole body aches from the stress. Today is the 9th, and the rent is due again. I can't even afford to pay it. How am I supposed to keep this business running? The reality of running a physical store is just too difficult. Another business owner shared that ever since pandemic restrictions were lifted, her women's clothing store has seen a steady decline in sales. Eventually, she couldn't sustain it anymore. With so many stores closing down, she believes many other women's fashion shops will also go out of business.
大家好，我是在德江经营女装店8年的王婷。
I'd been running a clothing store in Dejiang for 8 years, and now it's officially closing. After everything was settled, our total losses came out to over 500,000 yuan. Personally, I'm now in debt for more than 200,000 yuan. Many people pointed out that online shopping has made it even harder for physical stores to survive. If they price things too high, no one buys them. If they sell them too cheaply, they don't make enough to stay afloat. One person commented, 10 years ago, I used to buy all my clothes, pants, and shoes from brick-and-mortar stores. Now the only thing I still buy in store is shoes. Everything else I order online. A female blogger reflected on the tough situation across industries, noticing more and more empty storefronts.
最近这些天听到说服装店倒闭的很多。
Lately, I've been hearing about so many clothing stores closing down. Just today, I found out about another one. It had been open for more than 10 years and was doing well. There were no signs of trouble. But now, they're suddenly shutting down in a matter of weeks. This year, running a business has been increasingly difficult. If I didn't have online sales, I would have closed too. Foot traffic is disappearing. People don't shop in stores anymore. That's just the reality. As China's economy continues to struggle, consumption downgrade has become a popular term, even affecting women's everyday shopping habits. A blogger shared her experience of taking her daughter to buy a pair of pants, only to be shocked by the price.
又一次刷新了那个物价。
It's like prices have hit a new level of insanity. My daughter wanted a new pair of pants, so we went to a small shopping center. Not even a real mall, just a 2-story place with a supermarket on the first floor and clothing shops on the second. A simple pair of pants for fall or spring, nothing special, was priced at 130 yuan. Pants. The same quality pants online would cost just 60 yuan, maybe 78 at most, and I live in a small 5th-tier city where salaries range from 2,000 to 5,000 yuan. Everyone keeps saying consumer spending is going down, but shouldn't we be asking whether prices are just too high? At this rate, I guess I really am just poor. In Xiamen, Fujian, a woman walked into a bakery to buy some nougat treats, but when she reached the counter, she was stunned. 10 small pieces cost 104 yuan. She hesitated, thinking it was a bit expensive, and before she could decide, the shop assistant sneered at her. If you can't afford it, don't bother weighing it. They looked down on us just for buying something. Do you know what they said? They told us, if you can't afford it, why are you weighing it? Can't we even take a second to consider our purchase? Is this really about affording it? Imagine walking into a store, thinking about whether to buy something, and the cashier just tells you, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. How would that make you feel? During Valentine's Day and Women's Day in 2025, data from major Chinese e-commerce platforms showed that sales of beauty gift sets dropped by 37% compared to the previous year. A male blogger analyzed the trend, suggesting that this reflects the financial struggles faced by entire households.
今年的3·8妇女节，你们发现了没有啊？
Have you noticed something different this Women's Day? In previous years, there were ads everywhere pushing the idea that men must spend money on women. But this year, that kind of marketing has suddenly gone quiet. Data from the major e-commerce platforms shows that during the combined Valentine's Day and Women's Day period, sales of beauty gift sets dropped by 37% compared to last year, and foot traffic in luxury stores fell by 42%. Our society is witnessing the collapse of a consumer fantasy.
Official data from China shows that in 2024, total retail sales of consumer goods grew by only 3.5%, a slowdown of 3.7 percentage points from 2023, far below the pre-pandemic growth rate of over 8%. Media investigations found that the higher a consumer's income and education level, the more likely they are to adopt conservative spending habits due to shifting economic expectations. This suggests that more financially informed consumers are increasingly cautious about the economy. The cosmetics sector performed even worse, with annual retail sales down 1.1% compared to the previous year. Chinese media reports indicate that in 2024 alone, over 11 domestic beauty brands either shut down or had their parents' company enter bankruptcy proceedings. Many of these were small to mid-sized brands, many of which did not survive beyond 3 years. The downward trend has continued into 2025, with industry analysts predicting that total cosmetics retail sales could decline by another 3%. On February 6, a court in Fujian province announced the forced liquidation of Pianze Huang Cosmetics Company Limited, a company that had been in business for 40 years. Since the beginning of 2025, at least 8 cosmetic companies across China have entered bankruptcy or forced liquidation, doubling the number from the same period last year. These companies were primarily involved in cosmetics manufacturing, wholesale, and retail. The media has called the current state of the beauty industry severely challenging. On March 5th, another domestic beauty brand announced its closure. No Notes, a Chinese makeup brand, released a farewell message on social media, stating that it would begin clearance sales on all remaining inventory and shut down its official online stores by the end of March 2025. Customer service will continue until April 30th, 2025. The company said that proceeds from the clearance sale would first be used to pay outstanding supplier fees and employee severance. As for why it's shutting down, No Notes explained that despite the team's best efforts to adapt, the company could not overcome long-term financial losses amid intense market competition and shifting consumer trends. Founded in 2019 by Guangzhou Jiulu e-commerce company, No Notes targeted Gen Z consumers, who are known for embracing emerging brands. A female blogger expressed shock over No Notes' closure.
我刚刚刷到我一个经常推荐的美妆品牌宣布倒闭了，我非常震惊。
I often recommended this beauty brand, so I'm really surprised it's shutting down. I know the economy is struggling, but I didn't think it was this bad. In my mind, No Notes still had a loyal customer base. It wasn't some unknown small brand. An industry expert has analyzed the reasons behind the collapse of domestic cosmetic companies.
化妆品工厂不一定是小的会死。
Cosmetic factories aren't just struggling at the small scale. Big companies are also shutting down. The current environment is really tough. Most of the businesses that failed this year went down for a few key reasons: unpaid debts, quality issues, falling behind competitors in innovation, or getting shut down due to inspections. Many companies are on the verge of collapse. The largest factories are facing the worst challenges. Even those with hundreds of millions in revenue, whether it's 400 million, 300 million, 200 million, or 100 million yuan, are now caught in an increasingly brutal competition.
A survey by II Media Research showed a sharp decline in the number of men buying cosmetics and skincare as gifts. On Valentine's Day in 2023, nearly 50% of men gave beauty products as presents, but by 2025, that number had dropped to just 25%. This shift reflects a major drop in consumer confidence. Compared to 2 years ago, young people are now more cautious about spending, which has significantly affected cosmetic sales and the overall beauty industry. And it's not just on Valentine's Day. Cosmetics in general have lost their appeal. Young people aren't as enthusiastic about makeup anymore. A trending topic on Weibo, "Stopped wearing makeup after the first day back at work," racked up over 300 million views. Many workers feel too exhausted to bother with makeup, while others have opted for a simple, low-maintenance routine. China expert Yuan pointed out that fewer women wearing makeup is a reflection of broader economic struggles, job insecurity, declining living standards, and shifting priorities. He joked that one side effect of this trend might be that there are fewer beautiful women on the streets, since makeup plays a big role in enhancing appearances. A female blogger recently posted a video complaining about skyrocketing makeup prices.
有没有人觉得化妆品的价格真的很离谱？
Does anyone else think cosmetics are ridiculously expensive? This highlighter stick is just 7 grams, but it costs 270 yuan. Some people in the comments said they barely use their makeup anymore. Some products even expire before they can finish them. Others, including those who have worked in the beauty industry for over a decade, said they now just use a tinted moisturizer and a bit of lipstick. Chinese media reports suggest that young women are cutting back on spending. They use discount coupons for food, buy second-hand phones, and opt for affordable alternatives when it comes to cosmetics. Affordable alternatives refer to either budget-friendly versions of well-known brands or functionally similar alternatives. Some women have even started buying men's products instead, believing they are more cost-effective and practical. For example, they've switched to men's socks, which are often cheaper. Luxury and international beauty brands, which once thrived in China, are now struggling. Shiseido sales in China fell by 4.6% in 2024. Coty, the world's largest perfume company, reported an 11% drop in net revenue for the Asia-Pacific region in Q2 of its 2025 fiscal year. Unilever sales in China's Asia-Pacific division declined by 0.9% in 2024. Two of the biggest beauty giants in China, Estée Lauder and L'Oreal, are also facing challenges. Estée Lauder's financial report for Q2 of 2025 showed a 6% decline in net sales and a net loss of $580 million. The company struggled across multiple sectors, including skincare and makeup, with weak performance in the Asia-Pacific region. L'Oreal's revenue in China dropped by 3.2%, marking its first decline in a decade. Reports indicate that while young Chinese consumers are shifting toward local beauty brands due to their lower prices, many domestic brands are engaging in price wars instead of focusing on quality improvement. The intense competition has put enormous pressure on brands, leading to the collapse of several companies.